This is a recap of UFC Perth. Overall, it was a good card and we have a lot to talk about, but first we're going to start from the early prelims. Alexia Thainara versus Luma Lookboom. Thainara gets the job done with her grappling. There were some moments on the feet, which Lookboom was looking pretty good in, but most of the fight was Thainara getting her grappling going. Brando Perisic versus Elijah Ellison. Brando Perisic gets the job done by KO. I picked Ellison to win this fight because I said he was faster and more explosive, but I didn't know he was that much smaller than Perisic. He was about 30 pounds lighter than Perisic, who fights at the heavyweight max pretty much, and he's 6'5". Ellison was 6 feet, so massive size discrepancy, and Perisic, he got the knockout. Ellison dragged himself down and pulled guard because he was stunned by a big right hand, and then there was just some ground and pound, and that finished Ellison off, so Perisic gets a round 1 KO. Michelle Montague versus Luana Carolina. I went with Montague to win this one because she can implement takedowns very well, and that's a big factor of WMMA, the ground game, and Montague got her takedowns, had some hairy moments on the feet, got stunned at times, but she got the takedowns, and she was getting a lot of ground and pound. She got some good ground and pound in round 1, which gave her a round. It was a little bit close, and she did get sliced open with an elbow badly in round 1, but like I said, the ground and pound, that did more damage, even though it wasn't visible. Round 2, Carolina gets a point deducted, so that's a 10-8 for Montague, who spends most of the round on top. Looked for the back a lot in this fight, but couldn't get the rear naked, which is previously to this fight, she finished all 6 of her wins by rear naked choke. And round 3, there was a 10-8 given in this round, but honestly, I could see it, 30-25. And yeah, it was just Montague on top again. So she got a pretty dominant performance, and this was a decent fight, Kobe Thickness versus Jusais Musasa. Kobe Thickness gets a decision. Again, this was a pretty good fight. Round 1, Thickness gets the fight to the ground, and it was a pretty dominant round, but Musasa, he had some moments on feet at the start, so it was a 10-9. Round 2 was a 10-9 for Musasa. Got some good moments on feet. Thickness looked a little bit compromised on his legs. But yeah, Musasa landed some big shots, but nothing too big. And then round 3, again, Musasa's going for it, but then Thickness just takes him down and spends the rest of the round on top. Gets some good ground and pounds, and oh yeah, I forgot to say that there was a low blow in this fight in round 3, which is a pretty bad one. But anyway, Thickness got the job done by decision. Jamie Malarkey beats Rolando Bedoya by decision. I went with Bedoya for this one, but Malarkey showed up. He wanted to win this time, and he got a takedown in round 1. It's been pretty much the whole time on the back of Bedoya. Round 2, look closer, more stand-up, but Malarkey's landing a little bit better shots. And then round 3, this is Bedoya's round. He's hunting down Malarkey, but it just wasn't enough, and Malarkey gets a 29-28. Cam Rounston, he gets a KO win over Andre Petrosky. I went with Cam Rounston in this one because I think he probably touched Petrosky's chin before he shoots a takedown. I was very confused on why Petrosky was not shooting at all in this fight. He didn't shoot one takedown. He struck with Cam Rounston, who is so much taller than him. I don't know how much taller he is, but he's a tall dude, lanky dude, and he could have shot, but he didn't for some reason. But Cameron Austin got him with a good check hook. Didn't look like there was much power on it, but anyway, it hit the target and the fight got stopped. I thought Petrosky was still in it, but I'm perfectly fine with that stoppage. So going from Cameron Austin, kind of copied Adesanya on the mic, but anyway, it was a decent performance. It was a good performance being Andre Petrosky in your debut, but questionable decision making from Petrosky. Navajo Sterling gets a UD over Adolfo Bellato. Pretty good fight. The kind of cage control, it kind of, made the hype die down for the fight, or however you want to put it, but there were some good exchanges on the feet. Both were taking shots and giving them, but Sterling was just landing a little bit better, went to the body more, was landing some good kicks, and yeah, he passes the Adolfo Bellato test, so I wouldn't say he's ranked opponent level yet, but maybe he gets somebody in the meantime. Don't know who, but somebody before the rankings. Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. This was a good fight. This was a very good fight. Campbell drops Nolan early. I think it was a straight right hand. I believe it was that. And both were targeting each other's legs in this fight. Inside leg kicks, a lot of them. And then Nolan was also landing his straight shots. He had a big reach advantage in this fight, because he is a long lightweight. He's 6'3" for lightweight, but a straight left was hitting home, wobbled him, and then dragged him down and got rear naked choke. So that was good to see. He mixed it up to effect this time, and it was a great fight. Right, here we go. Neil Magny versus Jake Matthews. So there's some controversy in this fight because at the end of the first round, Jake Matthews pulls a guillotine. He reverses position to a mounted guillotine, and the ref stops the fight with about a second left to go in the round. He actually does stop the fight, but then he just changes his mind a few seconds later, which I like to see because it was not a legitimate submission win. But he did just change his mind in the middle of after calling a stoppage. So very weird moment. But anyway, we go to round 2, and this was Matthews' round. He's doing a little better, landed some good punches, a few, but he also does grapple quite a bit in this fight. He was at times out grappling Neil Magny, but in round 3, Magny puts pressure on and gets a knee, but finds a double leg, Matthews shoots a double leg, and then Magny, he reverses the position and puts Jake Matthews in a Darce choke. So yeah, didn't expect that one. In my opinion, Jake Matthews kind of fumbled this one. But anyway, he can pass the Neil Magny test. Neil Magny is the ultimate gatekeeper at welterweight. He exposes people if they're not good enough, which I thought Jake Matthews was. He's been in the UFC for a very long time, and he's only 31 years of age, so I thought the experience in him being younger in his prime would be beneficial, but he loses. But his team is going to appeal. Don't know how it's going to work out. The ref did stop the fight, so we'll see what happens. Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Taveras. Jack Jenkins gets the job done. Gets the job done by decision. His kicks won the fight. Landed a good head kick in round 1. Some good body kicks. In round 2 and 3, there was more grappling. Round 3, he kind of lays on Ramon Taveras for the end of the fight, and hey, he got the decision win, so good on him. Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Urslan. Ivan Urslan's landing some good punches early, but then Jimmy Crute just with ease double legs him. And then he's looking for rear nakeds, and then very end of the round he gets this kind of, they called it a rear naked, but he's kind of trying to pry Ursulin's head off and off of his shoulders, and very interesting choke. You don't really see that much or ever, but Jimmy Crute gets another round 1 submission, so he's putting things together, you know, pretty good. Let's get into the main event. Carlos Ulberg, he knocks out Dominic Reyes. Big knockout. Not too much happening early on. This was supposed to be a 5-round fight, but you know, he got the KO in round 1. It was a pretty slow start, as I said, mainly just exchanging kicks, and Ulberg is keeping the fight at a kickboxing range because he doesn't want to get counterpunched by Dominic Reyes, and he keeps his range. Stings him with a 1-2 and a jab, and goes to a right hand to the body. Also did land some better kicks in this fight, or more of them at least. Both to the body and the head. Not the head as much. No, I don't think he landed to the head, but to the legs he did. Reyes went for some head kicks, but couldn't get them, hit the target, and Reyes knows he's down. He needs to get back. So he wants to get this moment back for himself, steal the round, but Ulberg just sees it. Very good eyes, left hook to a right hook. It was a very beautiful knockout. Beautiful display of counter striking, and he made it look easy versus Dominic Reyes, which that's a hard thing to do, you know. And I say he deserves a title shot next. We're gonna see what happens next week with Yuri and Khalil, and then Uncle Ivan Pereira. So, you know, maybe it's not set in stone yet, but I'd say he's definitely deserving of the next title shot. So, yeah, we're gonna see what happens next week. And then this is all gonna get really interesting. So, there's gonna be some good action at the light heavyweight division. It's becoming interesting. So, yeah, this was a good card. And for predictions, let's go to the bottom. I got Thenora right, 1-0. I got Perisic wrong, 1-1. Montague right, 2-1. Thickness right, 3-1. Malarkey wrong, 3-2. Rustin right, 4-2. Sterling right, 5-2. Nolan wrong, 5-3. Magny wrong, 5-4. Jenkins right, 6-4. Crute right, 7-4. Ulberg right, 8-4. So overall, I did okay on the card and got the main event right. So, like I said, that's the only thing that matters. So I'll see you for the prediction videos for UFC 320, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.